Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to be working on lesson 54. Make sure you complete your workbook assignment for 53 and today for 54. This is very important. You should have 4 assignments by the end of the week. I will be checking assignment submission and calling parents to make sure you're turning in those assignments. Let's go ahead and begin with lesson 54. Touch the first row in part 1. So you're looking at the first row, paying close attention, boys and girls. Now, let's see if you remember a meaning for one of those affixes. Touch the letters P or E. What's one meaning of pre? Get ready. Before. What's one meaning? Touch the letters R-E. What's one meaning of re? Get ready. Again. Touch the letters L-Y. What's one meaning of li? Get ready. How something happened. Touch the letters UN. What's one meaning of un? Get ready. Not. Touch the letters DIS. What's one meaning of this? Get ready. Not. The opposite of or away from. It has 3 meanings, boys and girls. Touch the letters SUB. What's one meaning of sub? Get ready. Under or less than. Now let's go ahead and continue to read the first word in column A. First word. What word? Reconstruction. Next word. What word? Abruptly. Next word. What word? Unsuccessful. Next word. What word? Seriously. Column B, boys and girls, paying close attention. First word. What word? Submerge. Next word. What word? Remains. Next word. What word? Carefully. Next word. What word? Removing. Let's go ahead and go over part 2, boys and girls. First word. What's the underlined part? Shun. What word? Motionless. Next word. What's the underlined part? Are. Remember to hold it for 3 seconds. What word? Partner. Next word. What's the underlined part? What word? Surviving. Next word. What's the underlined part? What word? Weekend. Now let's go ahead and pay attention to part number 3. We're going to talk about what those words mean. Paying close attention because these words are going to come up in your story and these words will help you better understand the story. Word number 1. Everybody. What word? Pounced. Pounced means jumped on. Everybody. What's another way of saying the cat jumped on the ball? Think about it. Get ready. The cat pounced on the ball. Word number 2. What word? Preserved. Something that was preserved lasted a long time. Everybody, what's another way of saying the treasure lasted a long time? Think about it. Get ready. The treasure was preserved. Number 3. What word? Silt. Silt is a very fine mud. Everybody, what is silt? Think about it. Get ready. A very fine mud. Touch word number 4. Fossilized. A fossil is the remains of a living thing from a past geological age. Everybody, what is a fossil? Think about it. Get ready. The remains of a living thing from a past geological age. When something is fossilized, it has become a fossil. Word number 5. What word? Buckles. When something folds or collapses, it buckles. Everybody, what's another way of saying the roof collapsed? Think about it. Get ready. The roof buckled. Good job. Word number 6, boys and girls. Everybody's still paying close attention. That word is paleontologist. What word? Paleontologist. A paleontologist is a scientist who studies fossils and ancient forms of life. Everybody, what does a paleontologist study? Think about it. Get ready. Fossils and ancient forms of life. Good job. Touch word number 7. That word is transform. Everybody, what word? Transformed. To transform something is to change it into something else. Everybody, what's another way of saying they changed the electricity into heat? Think about it. Get ready. They transformed electricity into heat. Good job, boys and girls. Make sure we review those vocabulary words very well. Let's go ahead and look at part number 4. Pay close attention to the words that I am about to read. First word. What word? Paralyzed. Next word. What word? Inflicted. Next word. What word? Wyoming. Next word. What word? Sun-bleached. Next word. What word? Chiseling. Next word. What word? Sidestepped. Next word. What word? Locals. Next word. What word? Seeped. Next word. What word? Scar. Next word. What word? Wonder. Next word. What word? Skeleton. Next word. What word? Died. Next word. What word? Agreed. Next word. What word? Replied. Next word. What word? Attempt. Next word. What word? Washed. Next word. What word? Ringing. Next word. What word? Blinked. Next word. What word? Through. Next word. What word? Respond. Next word. What word? Warning. Next word. What word? Limestone. Next word. What word? Wounded. Let's go ahead and begin with our story, boys and girls. The title of the story is Tekla's Last Battle. Tekla fought with all her might. She touched the tyrannosaur and planted her horns in its belly. She lifted her head and tossed the tyrannosaur to the side. The predator, seriously wounded, walked away from her and stood motionless for a moment as Tekla waited with her head down. The tyrannosaur sidestepped Tekla's next charge and pounced on her back. It was all over for Tekla. She thrashed around, trying to roll over, but the huge carnivore held fast. Its jaws had come down like a mammoth vise on her spine, breaking the bones. Tekla felt dizzy. She tried to move her hind legs, but they wouldn't respond. Her rear half was paralyzed. She turned her head and watched the predator, but she didn't attempt to fight anymore. A warm feeling spread over her as if the sun had become brighter and brighter. Things spread over her as if the sun had become brighter and brighter. Things looked lighter to her. The plain in the distance seemed washed out, almost white. The noises of the plain became faint, ringing sounds. She didn't remember her early years on the plain, the hundreds of times she had roamed through the grass, the water hole. She simply blinked several times, then she saw no more. She felt very warm as the plain faded farther and farther away. Her huge head dropped to the ground, and she was dead. The Tyrannosaurus didn't feed on her. It was bleeding from the deep wounds Tekla had inflicted. It walked around Tekla several times. Then it stood motionless with its mouth half open. The other Tyrannosaur returned from an unsuccessful chase. It caught the smell of blood. Quickly it hopped around Tekla. Then without any warning, it attacked the wounded Tyrannosaur, closing its jaws around the huge animal's throat. Within a few minutes, the weakened Tyrannosaur was dead, lying next to Tekla. Later that afternoon, after the surviving Tyrannosaur had eaten its fill and the smaller predators had moved in to finish off the fallen dinosaurs, a strange thing happened. A great cloud of locusts swept over the plain, eating everything in their path. The grazing animals, the scavengers, and even the predators moved quickly to the north, leaving the remains of Tekla and the Tyrannosaur to the locusts. If it hadn't been for those locusts, very little might have remained of Tekla. As if turned around, however, her bones and the other bones of the other Tyrannosaur were preserved. They lay sun-bleached on the plain for more than 50 years. Then a great flood came, and the place where Tekla had fallen became the bottom of a lake. Each year, more and more silt and sand covered the bones. After thousands of years, a solution of limestone had seeped into the bones, transforming them into solid rock. Tekla's bones were now fossilized. 80 million years passed. During that time, the lake dried up, the dinosaurs disappeared from Earth, and the crusts of Earth buckled, forming new cliffs and mountains. Tekla's bones were near the edge of one of those cliffs. One day, over 80 million years after Tekla's death, two paleontologists were digging for fossil remains in northern Wyoming. They were chiseling small bones from the face of a cliff. One of them chiseled around the bones and Tekla's tail. "I think we found something," the paleontologist said to his partner. It took the paleontologist more than a month to remove the remains of Tekla and the Tyrannosaur from the limestone cliff. The paleontologists carefully laid out each bone until they had reconstructed the skeletons of the two animals. They couldn't find the tip of Tekla's left horn. When they had completed the reconstruction of the two animals, one paleontologist said, "The Triceratops has a broken back. It also has an old scar bone. I wonder if the Tyrannosaur killed this Triceratops." "I don't know," the other paleontologist said. "The Tyrannosaur has broken bones in its neck. I don't see how a Triceratops could inflict that kind of wound. And there are no signs of horn wounds on the Tyrannosaur's skeleton." "Yes," the first paleontologist said as he looked at a row of fluffy clouds above a nearby mountain. "We'll never know what happened, I guess. But I would sure have liked to have been there and seen just how those animals died." "Me too," the other paleontologist agreed. "But I guess we'll never know."